Once, long ago, in a land far away, there lived four little characters who went through a maze looking for cheese to nourish them and make them happy. Two were mice named Sniff and Scurry, and two were little people, beings who were as small as mice but who looked and acted a lot like people today. Their names were Hem and Hoa. Due to their small size, it would be easier not to notice what the four of them were doing. But if you look close enough, you could discover the most amazing things. Every day, the mice and the little people spent time in the maze looking for their own special cheese. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, possessing only simple rotten brains but good instincts, searched for the hard-nibbling cheese they liked, as mice often do. The two little people, Ham and Hoa, used their brain filled with many beliefs to search for the very different kind of cheese. With a capital C, they believe would make them feel happy and successful. As different as mice and little people were, they shared something in common. Every morning, they each put on their jogging suit and running shoes, left their little home, and raced out into the maze, looking for their favorite cheese. The maze was a labyrinth, corridor, and chamber, some containing delicious cheese. But there were also dark corners and blind alleys leading nowhere. It was an easy place for anyone to get lost. However, for those found their way, the maze held secrets that let them enjoy a better life. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, used the simple trial-and-error method of finding cheese. They ran out one corridor, and it proved that empty. They turned and ran down another. They remembered the cars having no cheese and quickly went in moved area. Sniff would smell out the general direction of cheese using his great nose, and Scurry would race ahead. They got lost, as you might expect, went off in the wrong direction, and often bumped the wall. However, the two little people, Ham and Hoa, had very complex brains with beliefs and emotion. It made life amazingly complicated and challenging. They realized they were sophisticated in finding cheese, depended on ability to think and learn from their past experience. All their ability was sometimes clouded by the way to look at things. Eventually, in their own way, they all discovered what they were looking for. They each found their own kind of cheese one day at the end of the one corridor in Cheese Station C. Every morning after that, the mice and little people dressed in their running gear and headed over Cheese Station C. It wasn't long before they each established their own routine. Sniff and Scurry continued to wake early every day and race through the maze, always following the same route. When they arrived at destination, and mice took off their running shoes, tied them together, and hung them around their necks, so they could them quickly whenever they needed them again. Then they enjoyed the cheese. In the beginning, Ham and Hoa also raced toward Cheese Station C every morning to enjoy the taste of new morsels that awaited them. But after a while, a different routine set in for the little people. Ham and Hoa awoke each day a little later, dressed a little slower, and walked to Station C. After all, they knew what cheese was and how to get there. They had no idea where the cheese came from or who put it there. They just assumed it would be there. As soon as Ham and Hoa arrived at cheese station C, it's morning, they settled down and made themselves at home. They hung up their jogging suit, put away their running shoes, and put on their slippers. They were became very comfortable now that they have found the cheese. This is great, Ham said. There's enough cheese here to last forever. The little people felt happy and successful and thought they were not secure. It wasn't long before Ham and Hoa got the cheese they found at cheese station C as their cheese. It was such a large store of cheese that they eventually moved their home to be closer to it and built a social life around it. To make themselves feel more at home, Ham and Hoa decorate the wall each day and even drew pictures of cheese around them, which make them smile. One read, "Having cheese makes you happy." Sometimes Ham and Hoa take their friend ride to see their pile of cheese at cheese station C and point to the prize, saying, "Pretty nice cheese, huh?" Sometimes they share with their friends, and sometimes they didn't. "We deserve this cheese," Ham said. "We certainly had to walk long and hard to find it." He picked up some nice fresh pea and ate it. After, Ham fell asleep as he opened it. Every night the little people would wander home full of cheese, and every morning they would comfortably return for more. This went on for quite some time. After a while, Ham and Hoa's confidence grew into an arrogant success. Soon they became so comfortable they didn't even notice what was happening. As time went on, Snip and Scurry continued their routine. They arrived early each morning and sniffed and scratched and scurried around cheese station C, inspecting the area to see if there had been any changes from the day before. Then they would sit down and nibble on the cheese. One morning they arrived at cheese station C and discovered there was no cheese. They weren't surprised, since Snip and Scurry noticed the surprise cheese had been getting smaller every day. They were prepared for the inevitable and knew instinctively what to do. They looked at each other, removed the running shoe they had together, hung conveniently around their neck, put them on their feet, and laced them up. The mice did not overanalyze things, and to the mice, the problem and the answer were both simple. The situation at the cheese station C had changed. So, Snip and Scurry decided to change. They both looked at the maze. Then Snip lifted his nose, Snip, and noticed Scurry, who talked of running through the maze, where Snip followed this past his school. They were quickly off in search of the new cheese. Later that same day, Ham and Hoa arrived at cheese station C. They had not been paying attention to the small changes that had been taking place each day, so they took for granted their cheese would be there. They weren't prepared for what they found. "What? No cheese?" Ham yelled. He continued yelling, "No cheese? No cheese?" As though if you shouted louder enough, someone would put it back. "Who moved my cheese?" he hollered. Finally, he put his hands on his hips. His face turned red, and he screamed at the top of his voice, "It's not fair!" Hoa just shook his head in disbelief. He, too, had counted on finding cheese at cheese station C. He stood there for a long time, frozen with shock. He was just not ready for this. Ham was yelling something But Hoa didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to deal with what's facing him, so he just tuned everything out. The little people's behavior was not very attractive or productive, but it was understandable. Finding cheese wasn't easy, and it meant a great deal more in little people than just having enough of it to eat every day. Finding cheese was the little people's way getting what they thought they needed to be happy. They had no idea what cheese meant to them, depending on their taste. For some, finding cheese was having material things. For others, it was enjoying good health or developing a spiritual sense of well-being. For Hoa, cheese just meant feeling safe, having a loving family someday, and living in a cottage on Shetland. To him, cheese was becoming a big cheese, a child's adder, and owning a big house atop Camembert Hill. Because cheese is important to them, the two little people spent a long time trying to decide what to do. All they could think of was keep looking around Cheeseland Station C to see if the cheese was really gone. While Sniff and Scurry had quickly moved on, Hem and Haw continued to hem and haw. Haw started getting depressed. What would happen if the cheese wasn't there tomorrow? He had made future plans based on this cheese. The little people couldn't believe it. How could this happen? No one had warned them. It wasn't right. It was not the way things were supposed to be. Ham and Hoa went home at night, hungry and discouraged. But before they left, Hoa wrote on the wall, "The more important your cheese is to you, the more you want to hold on to it." The next day, Ham and Hoa left their home and returned to Cheese Station C again. They were still expecting somehow to find their cheese. The situation had changed. The cheese was no longer there. The little people didn't know what to do. Ham and Hoa just stood there, immobilized like two statues. Hoa shut his eyes, untied his coat, and put his hands over his hair. He just wanted to black everything out. He didn't want to know that cheese supply had gradually been getting smaller. He believed it had been moved all of a sudden. Ham analyzed the situation over and over, and eventually this complicated brain with its huge belief system took hold. "Why did they do this to me?" he demanded. What's really going on here?" Finally, Hoa opened his eye, looked around, and said, "By the way, where are Sniff and Scurry? Do you think they know something we don't?" Ham scoffed. What would they know?" Ham continued. "They're just simple minds. They just respond to what happened. We are little people. We are special. We should be able to figure this out." "I know we're smarter," Hoa said. "But we don't seem to be acting smart at the moment. Things are changing around here, Ham. Maybe we need to change and do things differently." "Why should you change?" Ham asked. "We are little people. We are special. This sort of thing not happen to us. Or it does, we should at least get some benefit." "Why should get some benefit?" Hoa asked. "Because we're entitled," Ham claimed. "We're entitled to what?" Hoa wanted to know. "We're entitled to what cheese?" "Why?" Hoa asked. "Because we didn't cause this problem," Ham said. Somebody else did this, we should get some out of it. Hoa suggests maybe we should stop analyzing the situation so much and just get going or find some new cheese. Oh no, Ham argued. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. While Ham and Hoa were still trying what to do, Sniff and Scurry were only running away. They went farther into the maze, up and down corridor, looking for cheese every cheese station they could find. They didn't think of anything else but finding new cheese. They didn't find any for some time until they finally went to an area of the maze where they had never been before. Cheese Station N. They squealed with delight. They found what they were looking for, a great supply of new cheese. They could hardly believe their eyes. It was the biggest store of cheese the mice had ever seen. In the meantime, Ham and Hoa were still back in Cheese Station C, evaluating their situation. They were not suffering from the effects of having no cheese. They were becoming frustrated and angry, and were blaming each other for the situation they were in. Now and then, Hoa thought about his mice friend, Sniff and Scurry, and wondered if they found any cheese yet. He believed they might be on a hard time, as running through the maze usually involved some uncertainty. But he also likely won't last for a while. Sometimes, Hoa would imagine Sniff and Scurry finding new cheese and enjoying it. He thought about how good it would be Sniff and Scurry finding new cheese and enjoying it. He thought about how good it would be for him to be free out of the adventure in the maze and find fresh new cheese. He could almost taste it. The more clearly How saw in the midst of finding, enjoying the new cheese, the more he saw himself leaving Cheese Station C. "Let's go!" he exclaimed all of a sudden. "No," Ham quickly responded. "I like it here. It's comfortable. It's what I know. Besides, it's dangerous out there." "No, it isn't," Hoa argued. "We run through many parts of the maze before, and we can do it again." "I'm getting too old for that," Ham said, "and I'm afraid I'm not interested in getting lost and making fool of myself." "Are you?" With that, Hoa's fears fleeing. Hoa feels or feeling returned, and his hope of finding new cheese faded. So every day, the little people contained to do what they had done before. They went to Cheese Station C, found no cheese, and returned home, carrying their worries and frustration with them. They tried to deny what was happening, but finding harder to get to sleep, had less energy the next day, and were becoming irritable. Their home were another train place once were. The little people had difficulty sleeping and were having nightmares that not finding any cheese. But Ham and Hoa still returned to Cheese Station C and waited there every day. Ham said, "You know, if we just work harder, we'll find that nothing here really changed that much. The cheese is probably nearby. Maybe they'll just hid it behind the wall." The next day, Ham and Hoa returned with tools. Ham held the chisel while Hoa banged on the hammer until they made a hole into the wall of the cheese station C. They peered inside, but find no cheese. They were disappointed, but believed they could solve the problem. So they started earlier, stayed longer, and worked harder. But after a while, all they had was a large hole in the wall. Hoa was beginning to realize the difference between activity and productivity. Maybe, Ham said, we should just sit here and see what happens. Sooner or later, then after put the cheese back. Hoa wanted to believe that. So each day he went home to rest and returned reluctantly with Ham to cheese station C, but cheese never reappeared.